Hi, Nell. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. So, with this, I think it's very fun that the First Omen can kind of stand completely on its own, but is also, tied to that larger universe of the Omen. Especially because I just like that there's a picture of Gregory Peck. I thought that was very funny while watching this. You know, just suddenly see a little picture of him.
Uh,
But for you, was that something you ever kind of looked to, like you were looking at when you were doing this? Or did you kind of keep yourself separate since this is its own story?
yeah, I mean, I kind of kept it separate. I wasn't really coming back to the original for any sort of reference, especially because Margaret's a brand new character. I just,
Mhm.
and we technically take place before the original happens. It felt, like it was kind of a brand new story, and we just. But I watched the original. I've watched the original for the first time when I was 11, but I watched it. I know, I watched it just before I came back out. I came out to shoot the movie just kind of to get excited, just because I was really excited to come and shoot. So I watched the first and the second one. But as far as like referring back to it for like my specific performance, I kind of just winged it.
When I do like, for some reason we're in the Catholicism is something era of movies because with this and Immaculate, I was like, great,
Yeah.
I love these nun movies. I'm having so much fun. But what I really loved about Margaret as a character is that she kind of was forced into this, and you can see that she is kind of going back and forth about like her place within Catholicism and being a nun and all of that. But we don't get to explore that through dialogue. It's kind of just those layers exist and we can see the thought process. How is your approach to those little things? Like, do you have like notes on like why she would be questioning in a certain scene?
No, I'm not really like a sort of note writer down kind of actor. Sometimes I feel like a bit less than because I see like my co-stars scripts and they're like highlighted and noted, and I'm like, should I be doing that? I don't. Maybe I should be doing that. I just kind of like to get there and do it day by day, scene by scene, frame by frame, moment by moment. And because I had Karsh, it just felt, you know, what you're saying is when she's like struggling with who she is and where she fits in the
Mhm.
world, and whether this is what she wants to do and wants to be. For me, that was on the page because, we reference her childhood a lot and how she had a really hard time at the orphanage growing up. And we learned that really early on about Margaret. Um, and you can feel that she kind of feels like an imposter in her own skin almost, and she doesn't really know why. And obviously, that question gets answered by the end of the day. Um, so yeah, it was something that I felt like was quite a natural color to play for her, really.
Yeah, and I do love, like, this movie taught me something about Catholicism and nuns that I never knew. That like before they're confirmed, they can just like go and do whatever they like. Seeing a potential nun in a club was a little crazy for me. I was just like,
Never know. You could
they
be
can
at
do
the
that?
club, and you could be at the club, and there could be potential nuns there in the
Yeah,
hunt.
we don't know. But was there anything that you learned when you were kind of looking into this that you were like, "Huh, I never knew that. That's kind of crazy that that is a thing that exists."
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. And I probably by the end of the interview, I will think of one and tell you it. But I'm sure there's but Karsh is always telling us these facts that just you're like, what? What? She's full of them. She's probably the best person to ask about this. But one will come to me and I will let you know.
I love it. But thank you so much for talking with me. I really appreciate it. I love that we kind of have the exact same haircut. As soon as I joined, I was like, this is great. It's blonde girls with shaggy hair.
Oh, I remember one.
Um, what
Is that
was it?
the Vatican has its own specific tailor, and that there's a room that you can go into where all when you can kind of like build a bear your own Vatican outfit. If you were a part of the church, and that's what they did for Bill. The Vatican's tailor dressed him. And I was like, what? The Vatican has its own tailor. I just thought that was wild. So
Yeah,
like,
that rules actually.
yeah,
That's pretty
there
good.
you go.
But thank you so much for talking with me. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait for people to get to see the movie.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great one.
Bye.